Hey guys, so Soccer4 here, and this video I would like to warn you in advance, besides the fact that it's being filmed on my phone, that it may be very triggering for some people to watch. So watch your own risk. As you can see by the title, it is going to be my self-harm story. Yeah, so, I don't know where to start. Let's see, the first time that I felt like depressed. I mean, like, as a child, I was like always happy, like always, I don't even know, in a good mood, like laughing, making everybody else laugh. Just like overly friendly, as my mom would say it, because apparently going up and talking to everybody that I saw was frowned upon and it scared my mother. But so time went on and nothing really dramatic happened in my life. So you might be like, well, then why would you be depressed? Well, I don't know if a lot of you knew about this or whatever, but my gender has been in question since I was in elementary school. Actually, I talked to my cousin a lot about that. And I kind of pushed that aside. I was like, whatever. I don't think, like, that we need to worry about that right now. Like, I'm just weird. I don't even know what my problem was. So I was like, whatever. And then, so the years kept going. Middle school came. I think that's when I first started getting depressed. Yeah. I just went from, like, being really happy to kind of, like, completely started changing my style. I'm trying to think. I don't remember what happened in the 6th or 7th grade, but in 8th grade I got bullied a lot. Like, there was these girls, I don't even know who they were, because they wrote in my, planner that I had. Like, I went to get math help one day, and I came back, and it was full of things like, I love girls, I like women, I like calling me a lesbian and stuff. It made me, it hurt a lot, obviously. I was like, what the heck, like, what do you know? Like, I don't, like, stop. So then high school came, still, like, trying to get this whole thing situated as well as go into high school, which is obviously a big thing. 9th grade went pretty smoothly, tried to kind of stay out of everybody's way, kind of keeping myself and a few close friends, which I don't really talk to them anymore. 10th grade came, yeah, that was the year that my cousin came into the school. And yeah, she's awesome, but she's not always making the best choices. You'll hear about her later in the self-harm story. But around this time, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I started going to youth group, which is a church group for high school, middle school kids. I think I've worn a shirt in a couple of my videos. So I know that everybody's gonna be like, oh, whatever, like, get really angry possibly at this part. Through all this, I found God and Jesus, and I kind of opened up to them, and that helped a lot, like going to church. Especially knowing that I wasn't alone, and obviously never was alone, but there was a lot of people at the church who were going through what I was going through. And when I was suicidal, which I have the hospital bins, but I don't really need to show those. The first time I went to the hospital was, the first time I was suicidal, I didn't go to the hospital. I don't remember which time it was that I actually ended up going, but whatever. So, and then in my junior year, I'm pretty sure it was this year, that I met a kid named Malachi. he was bad news. He was very, 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 very bad news. But I instantly became best friends with him. He was like this big teddy bear type thing. Like if he was friends with you, then he was like protective of you and whatever. But that very, very quickly changed. Like he was protective, but he really liked me. So he always like put his hand on my leg and stuff, and it would get really uncomfortable. Like, you know, just stop. And then he started. He was the one that actually first started with the self-harm. Like, he had cut himself up, and then he started using pencils and stuff to cut me. Which I really didn't care. Like, I started realizing that I liked seeing the scars. Like, I liked having them there. I don't know if I saw the one that he gave me. You can't really see it. But, yeah. So... Yeah, oh, actually, crap, sorry, this story is terrible, but 9th or 10th grade was when I first told someone I was going to kill myself, and he got me to the social worker, blah, 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 blah. She wanted to see me, like, a bunch of times. And then as the depression worsened, and it kept getting suicidal, I kept going to other, therapists and stuff. Been to the hospital twice for it, and to a, crisis unit once, which sucked so bad. Oh my god, I hated that. Like, if you want to know what it's like. It was like a house. It had a certain amount of rooms. I got assigned a room. And it just had like a bed in it, and you had to make your own food, which also eating wasn't a big thing of mine. Like, I used to be able to eat like 5 things for breakfast or whatever. But then at this point I'd barely been eating anything, so I was like, she's like, my mom's like, you gotta make her eat, right? And I'm like, yeah, they're in charge of their breakfast and lunch, but we'll feed them supper. But I only ended up staying there one night because I could not stand it. Like, I called my mom bawling my eyes out to come get me that night, but she's like, I can, and she was crying, and I was crying, and then they wanted me to play a stupid game. I don't even remember what it was. I cannot think of the names. Scrabble, yes, it was Scrabble. Yeah, so this video is actually getting quite long, so I'll skip ahead. After the night that I go home from the hospital, I believe, was when I cut for the first time. I do have this, when I did cut, I never cut, like, super deep. The first time I actually used a pair of those little scissors that come in, like, the nail kit things. Here, do you want to see? You probably can't see. Yeah, they're really faded and this camera is bad. Like, obviously you can't see them. And then my cousin got really depressed and she started cutting. And she ended up writing, I'm gonna go with the F word on her arm. Which I apparently, like, she, like, knew what she's, like, calling herself a F up and, like, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm a F up. Like, I screw everything up, blah, 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 blah. So I decided to write the F word on my arm. So I took a safety pin and carved that out. My mom ended up finding out and she was pissed. Yeah, obviously, I think she was more upset, but yeah, excuse me, went to cutting on my shoulders. I don't think there's any reason, but I really don't want to take my sweatshirt off. But yeah, you can just see little scars. But yeah, getting better. Obviously,